In the gentle embrace of autumn, the town of Asheville, North Carolina, seems to slow its pace. The air is crisp, carrying the scent of wood smoke and fallen leaves, and the hillsides are painted with the warm hues of gold and crimson. It is a season that invites reflection, a time when memories seem to linger in the cool morning mist. For Margaret Carter, those autumn mornings will always be intertwined with the memory of her daughter Emily, and the day their lives changed forever. Each morning, Margaret would stand on the porch, a steaming mug of coffee warming her hands, watching as Emily prepared for school. At 9 years old, Emily was a quiet child, thoughtful, sensitive, with a deep love for books and the soft, comforting routines of home. Her favorite jacket was a light blue one, the color of a clear sky, and her backpack was a faded purple, worn at the corners from years of use. On that particular morning in 2007, Emily seemed no different from any other day, except for the small, folded piece of paper she tucked into her pocket before stepping outside. Margaret, lost in her thoughts, did not notice the subtle tremor in Emily's hands, or the way her daughter lingered at the end of the walkway, glancing back at the house one last time. She simply smiled and waved, believing in the safety of ordinary days, never suspecting that this morning would become a dividing line in her life, a before and an after. Emily's walk to the bus stop was a familiar journey. She passed the same rows of maple trees, their leaves crunching beneath her sneakers, and greeted Mr. Patterson, the kindly neighbor who swept his sidewalk with clockwork precision. The world felt safe, predictable. But as Emily reached the corner where the school bus would soon arrive, something changed. The details of that moment would remain a mystery for years, but the outcome was devastatingly clear. Emily never made it to the bus stop, never boarded the yellow bus that would take her to school, never arrived in her classroom where her friends waited. When the school called Margaret to ask about Emily's absence, a cold dread settled in her chest. She tried to remain calm, to imagine a simple explanation. Perhaps Emily had missed the bus and was walking. Perhaps she was with a friend. But as the minutes passed and there was still no sign of her daughter, panic took hold. Margaret's voice grew hoarse as she called Emily's name through the neighborhood, her heart pounding with a terror she had never known. The hours that followed were a blur of frantic activity. Police officers arrived, neighbors gathered, and volunteers fanned out across the town. They searched wooded trails and empty lots, combed through ditches and abandoned sheds. Dogs sniffed at the ground, their handlers urging them on with desperate hope. As night fell and the temperature dropped, Margaret sat by the phone, refusing to leave her post, clinging to the hope that a single call could bring her daughter home. But the call never came. Instead, Margaret was left with the small, aching reminders of Emily's presence. A half-eaten bowl of cereal on the kitchen table, a pair of shoes by the door, the faint scent of her shampoo lingering in the bathroom. The world outside continued to move forward, but inside the Carter home, time seemed to freeze. Days turned into weeks, and hope became harder to hold on to. The only clue was a crumpled note found near a park bench, written in Emily's careful print. The message was heartbreakingly simple. "I have to go. Don't look for me, I'm sorry." The words haunted Margaret, who knew her daughter's heart better than anyone. Emily was not the kind of child to run away. She was shy, anxious, and deeply attached to her family. The idea that she had left willingly was almost as unbearable as the thought that someone had taken her. As the months slipped by, the search slowed. The flyers faded. The volunteers returned to their lives, and the world seemed to forget. But Margaret could not forget. She kept Emily's room exactly as it had been, dusting the shelves and smoothing the covers on her bed, unable to let go of the hope that one day her daughter would return. Each year, on the anniversary of Emily's disappearance, Margaret would gather at the park with a handful of friends and neighbors, lighting candles and sharing memories. She refused to move away, to start over in a new town. Asheville was filled with traces of Emily, her laughter echoing in the schoolyard, her footprints in the garden, her favorite books lined up on the shelf. Margaret believed that as long as she stayed, there was a chance Emily would find her way home. The years passed slowly, marked by the changing seasons and the ache of absence. Margaret wrote letters to Emily, hundreds of them, pouring out her love and longing onto the page. She tucked them into a box under her bed, each one beginning with the same words, "I hope you are safe." It was a ritual of hope, a way to keep the bond between mother and daughter alive, even in the face of silence. Then, in 2013, a fragile thread of hope emerged. In a small police station in Virginia, a woman named Lisa Harper arrived, clutching a worn photograph. She spoke of a girl with light brown hair and shy blue eyes, brought into her life by a man who claimed to be her uncle. Lisa had lived in fear for years, uncertain and afraid, but something in her heart compelled her to come forward at last. Authorities listened carefully as Lisa described a remote cabin deep in the Appalachian woods, a place hidden from the world. A new search began, fueled by the possibility that Emily might still be alive. Search teams battled rough terrain and biting winds, pressing on through exhaustion and doubt. At last, they found the cabin, a lonely, weathered structure, silent except for the wind in the trees. Inside, the signs of a child's presence were unmistakable. An old mattress, children's books scattered on the floor, and a faded purple backpack. When they opened the backpack, they found a school notebook with Emily's name written inside. The discovery sent shockwaves through the investigators, and DNA tests confirmed the impossible. Emily Carter was alive. The reunion between mother and daughter was both joyful and painful. Emily, now 15, was thin and wary, her eyes shadowed by years of isolation. She had been taken by a man Margaret had once trusted, a man who had blended into the background of their lives. Emily had been hidden away, taught to fear the world and believe that no one was searching for her. The road to healing was long and uncertain. Emily struggled with nightmares and anxiety, her sense of safety shattered. Margaret, too, had to learn how to support her daughter through the pain, offering love and patience without expectation. Together, they rebuilt their lives, one small step at a time. Emily began to open up about her experiences, sharing the details of her captivity and the fear that had defined her days. She spoke of Lisa, the woman whose courage had set her free, and of the hope that had flickered inside her even in the darkest moments. Therapy and time helped her find her voice again, and slowly, the weight of the past began to lift. Margaret cherished the moments of ordinary happiness, the sound of Emily's laughter, the warmth of her hand, the comfort of shared routines. Forgiveness became a quiet presence in their lives, a way to move forward without being defined by what had been lost. The note Emily had left behind, once a source of pain, became a symbol of her resilience. A reminder that even in fear, she had reached out in the only way she could. In the fall of 2015, Emily stood before her classmates and shared her story. She spoke of survival, of the power of hope, and the importance of believing in one another. Her words resonated deeply, a testament to the strength that can emerge from even the most profound suffering. Today, Emily's life is not defined by her disappearance, but by her return. She and Margaret visit the park each autumn, walking among the golden leaves, their laughter mingling with the wind. Their bond, tested by years of uncertainty, is stronger than ever, a living testament to the enduring power of love, hope, and forgiveness. In the quiet moments, as the sun sets over the mountains and the world grows still, Margaret finds peace in the knowledge that Emily is home. Their story is one of loss and longing, but also of resilience and redemption. A reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always a path back to the light.